tweet that.
Okay.
You can host it, Kiwi. You're Alfred. You go ahead.
Goodness, okay. Hi, this is Dylan. I normally play Alfred, and I guess I'm going to be emceeing tonight because our lovely writer is so kind. Hey, this is Batman Athenaeum episode 10. We have a little bit of a scheduling conflict with some of our actors, so we're going to be doing episode 10 first, then moving on to episode 9 after. Nothing we're not too unfamiliar with, but still going to be the same content. But don't worry, it doesn't matter what episode order we go in because they're not necessarily related this time, luckily enough. So we should be good to go in this order. Now, just to go through and get started, let's run through everyone's who is going to be involved, going from top to bottom. I admittedly, I only know who's in episode 9. I haven't checked the episode 10 cast exactly. So if you're in episode 10, please pipe up, top to bottom.
Hello, my name is Adam New, and I play Detective Harvey Bullock.
Steph.
Oh, it's me. Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I'm playing Barbara Gordon.
Hello, I am Sword of Destiny, and I will be returning once again as the narrator.
Hi, I'm Cloudy, and I play extras.
Hi. I'm... Oh. No.
Which order were we going in? I'm sorry.
Top to bottom, I just don't know the names yet.
Right now, you're not in. So it's not you, Archer, so we skip over you because you're not in this one.
Which means Riddler, introduced yourself.
Okay. I'm Cadeau, and I'll be playing Edward Nashton tonight.
And I think that's it. Was it?
That should be everybody.
I guess we're missing Clancy's VA because I don't see him here.
Oh no.
So what should we do?
Well, anyone should be able to deal with it.
You're on extra
I can.
right?
If you don't mind me also playing Clancy on top of Take.
He just posted in one of the chats. I think he just posted in general or somewhere.
Sorry for the confusion, everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just posted in the schedule.
Hi, glad everyone's excited. We're just getting a few other scheduled things worked out, getting everyone in, and we should be ready to start in just a moment. We should have done this 10 minutes ago, but we all get rushed sometimes. It's fine. If it was perfect, it wouldn't be as fun.
Exactly.
It's because Bruce Wayne isn't Batman yet, so he hasn't got it down to a science.
Exactly.
One
day.
And he doesn't have Oracle to get him in line yet.
Yet.
Alright, and just to confirm with everyone in the current stream chat while we're waiting, does audio seem fine with everyone? Everything okay? I can adjust audio levels on the fly, so I'm going to be doing that as we go, in case anyone gets too loud or too quiet. That's not a problem. Just making sure everything is fine as far as the actual audio quality itself. Hopefully stream quality is good.
I think we're missing Gordon, too.
Oh, that's a good one to have.
Is Gordon's actor here?
Not this
I don't
second.
see him at the moment.
We have such a full cast of talented people, we lose them all in the crowd.
Okay. Well,
I went
can
into
fill in as understudy for whoever is missing.
I went into
I can fill in if needed.
I went into the stream like real fast and I couldn't hear anything.
That's well, also we're kind of sparingly talking, but you couldn't hear anything at all?
No, I deafened everyone and then went to the stream real quick and
Oh,
I
is
mean
our
I
sound
can
not working?
Oh, someone says audio sounds peachy. Is Twitch muted by chance for you?
Probably Twitch is being fucky, and yeah, okay.
I think Trey's having trouble figuring out how to get into the call.
Okay, so if people say the audio's peachy,
Oh,
it's probably something on my end.
he's in here now. He got in here.
Okay.
He's right under.
Are you in here?
He's under tick. Yeah, he's muted for now. Right now, though.
Yeah, so we got Trey.
Trey, do you have the script?
Trey, you are currently muted in Discord. If you want to go through and unmute so we can communicate, we can do that. Do you want to keep going live, Lucia, or do you want to get things together first?
I really hope he has his own mic plugged in.
He's a voice actor. He knows.
He knows that part.
Oh, Trey's just muted right now.
Yeah. All right. It looks like that. Our lovely Gordon is also currently working because of the schedule flip. Seems like we weren't able to quite check in with everyone the way we intended to. Whoopsies. Let's see here. Back computer.
Well, then, Sophie, do you mind filling in for?
So how are we doing this?
Get in time.
Oh, hi.
I'm filling in. I am happy to fill in. Just know that I have not practiced my Gordon, and I'm probably going to go for something closer to the animated series.
Do you want me to yell passive aggressively at you? That usually gets the actor into character.
Gordon. Dad. Okay.
Dad.
All right. So
It's vase.
I just posted the scripts, Trey, so you can go ahead and download them there. We're starting with episode 10 because we were accommodating a couple people's schedules. So let me know if you have the script downloaded.
Yeah.
Gordon's voice actor isn't going to be upset if we move on with the episode, is he?
No, I don't think he'll be upset.
I think you'll understand. I mean, it was getting really impossible to schedule everyone this week. It's been crazy.
Double checking, am I hearable?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
are hearable.
Yes, you are very hearable.
So did you manage to download episode 10?
Yes, I did.
Lucia, are you following along with what Shinkenrui's typing in the chat?
I am.
In back computer files specifically?
Are we still live?
Yes, we are. Do you want me to go turn this off just for the moment while we start figuring out things?
Probably for the best for now.
What do you say, Lucia?
Hey, we're fine. We're gonna start in just a second here.
It's a charm.
So we'll go ahead. And
Fuck
start.
it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Hello, chat. How are you doing today?
It is doing great, isn't it, chat? So hey, chat. In case you saw me on Twitter last night talking about how I've actually gotten a lot of requests from some very talented voice actors if they can voice their favorite Batman rogue or villain. And I tweeted about this, kind of, joking about one funny story about how everyone wants to be Jason Todd. And in reply, I got a lot of people asking if they could voice all of their favorite Batman villains and rogues, and it was really funny. And I am really, really touched to see how much everyone loves Batman, that even professional VAs just want to jump on for a chance to voice their faves. And I hope that I won't let anyone down with my writing for them, because I know there's been a lot of different interpretations of these throughout the decades. So I try to pick the versions that I think are most loved, but obviously people are going to disagree, so I hope you guys will like my interpretations. I apologize if I don't do your bestie justice.
I'm gonna send you hate mail. I'm kidding. I would never actually do that. It was a joke.
If you're sending
God,
me hate mail,
Lucia, why aren't you voicing the character good?
it's still means that you're watching my content, so I'll still be happy if you take the time to send me hate mail. So thank you.
I don't send hate mail. I just yell.
It's still engagement.
don't send hate
Lucia,
mail,
there
I
is
just-
exactly one straight character, and that's not accurate.
Is the only straight character Bruce, and he just has a household full of his weird queer kids, and he's just trying his best.
I was thinking like Harvey Bullock, but yeah, you're probably right.
He has had 5 wives, right?
Yeah,
Lucia.
probably.
Lucia, I should clarify. I don't send hate mail. I just yell a lot and then hope it gets people.
I think we should just get started then. So
Yeah, I was
does
about to
everyone
say.
have episode 10 pulled up?
I have episode 10 pulled up.
Okay, so I guess since I'm doing the understudy role, I'll introduce myself as well. So I'm Sophie B, and I will be filling in as an understudy for James Gordon.
All right. Well then, no further ado. Let's go ahead and get started, huh?
All
Yeah.
right. Let me go ahead and
Sounds
just
good.
mute up.
Batman. Wow. Batman Athenaeum, Episode 10, Enigma, by Lucia Lobosvilla, based on the works of Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Interior GCPD Captain Gordon's office. Clancy O'Hara and a 16-year-old Edward Nashton stand in front of Captain James Gordon's desk as Gordon finishes filling out and signing some paperwork. Ed rings his wrists anxiously.
That's it then. At last. After 2 long, annoying, know-it-all years, I finally get to terminate your internship.
Ed nods on his best behavior.
Yes, sir. Captain Gordon.
Gordon stands, looking Ed dead in the eye.
Good. Edward Nashton, you're fired.
Gordon cracks a smile suddenly and puts out his hand to shake Ed's.
So that I can formally hire you. Welcome aboard, son.
Ed releases a breath he didn't know he was holding and shakes Gordon's hands, shaking with nerves. He adjusts his glasses with a trembling but relieved hand.
Thank you, sir. I won't let you down.
Clancy grins and claps Ed on the back so hard that Ed stumbles forward a bit, making a pathetic sound of surprise.
So unfortunately, Mosley just dipped out of the voice chat
Oh,
for
no.
some unknown reason.
Oh, goodness.
Struggling with Discord.
Who is it that's it's the Clancy
Someone
O'Hara.
wanna
I
cover for
can
Clancy, so
I can do it. Or Bama can do
I can
Clancy
do it
O'Hara.
if you need me to.
Let Alan do it.
go ahead and do Clancy for now.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yes, you, Alan.
Have at it.
I knew I had it. I knew you had it in you, kid.
Now you understand you aren't a police officer. 16 might be old enough to work here, but becoming a cop takes a hell of a lot more than growing on me. Officially, you're a contractor, a consultant putting together the infrastructure for our new cybercrimes division.
I'm aware.
Course he is. Kid's brilliant. Probably already knows the system better than both of us old dinosaurs, Jim.
Brilliant you certainly are, Nashton, but you're not just the whiz kid tinkering around with a flimsy made-up internship to excuse it anymore. This is real work. Taxable, accountable. I'll need you at your best, and that includes working as a team.
Ed groans.
I'll certainly do my best, Captain.
I'll hold you to it. Get out of here. You got deadlines to meet now.
Your timetable is far too generous, Captain. I'll have it done in a fraction of the time.
Gordon sits at his desk, waving them off.
Yeah. I expect you in here by 8 a.m. tomorrow, you cocky brat. Sharp!
Wouldn't miss it, Captain.
What'd I tell you, Jim? She's shaped up real nice.
Clancy knocks twice on Gordon's desk for good luck and turns to leave with Ed. They stop suddenly as Gordon calls out to them one last time.
Oh, and Nashton.
Ed looks back, white as a sheet.
Yes? Yes, Captain?
Happy birthday.
Ed smiles and nods.
You know, I'm reminded of the words of Descartes.
Clancy ushers Ed away, interrupting him.
He got it. Just say thank you. You don't gotta talk so much, kid. You don't gotta talk so much. Wait, you talk too much.
Right. Thank you.
Clancy shuffles Ed out of the office. Gordon can't help but smirk to himself a bit as he files Ed's employment papers.
God damn, what a character. Can't get a read on him.
Interior GCPD bullpen. Ed and Clancy pass by the bullpen and overhear an argument in their path. Barbara Gordon, now age 12, is arguing with Harvey Bullock.
I don't have time to explain it to you again. Time is of the essence.
I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, sweetheart, but you ain't making any sense. How's a computer supposed to help you find your brother, eh?
Not a computer, your computers. There's an entire traffic and security cam database. I could cross-reference. If I follow from where he was last spotted, I might be able to track his movements.
Your brother's been missing for over a year. We don't keep those records on file that long.
No, but if I...
Barbara sees Ed and jumps out from behind Harvey.
Nashton!
Ed groans, stopping in his tracks.
Don't look now, kid. I think Babs has taken a shine to you.
Do not encourage this, Clancy. For the love of...
Barbara storms right up to Ed.
I need to use your computer.
Ed turns to her, putting on a false smile but unable to conceal his annoyance.
Save ourselves the verbal spar and cut to the chase. No.
You're such a jerk. I'm using it anyway. Try and stop me.
I can't fault you on your taste, Ms. Gordon. Mine is indeed the best machine in the precinct. I built it myself from parts, but it's almost also the most heavily encrypted, specifically to keep out any potential information thieves or presumptuous 12-year-old daughters of the captain. So knock yourself out.
I'm taking that as permission.
Barbara storms past him.
Just make sure you wipe down my workspace with antiseptic wipes afterward. They're in my top drawer.
Bullock crosses his arms, smirking.
Got a thing for redheads, eh?
Ed whirls on Bullock, mortified and blushing brightly.
What is that supposed to mean, you blithering buffoon? She's a child, and an infuriatingly obnoxious one at that. I can scarcely imagine a more horrendously frustrating individual than Barbara Joan Gordon.
Joan? Know her by her middle name now?
Ed whirls on Clancy, betrayed.
I know everyone's middle names. I digitized everyone's files. Yours is William. Yours is Robert.
I don't know. I thought I saw you teaching her how to play chess recently in the break room.
I said she was obnoxious, not stupid, which is more than I can say for you, Bullock.
What? That I'm stupid or obnoxious?
Actually, I'd argue to make a strong case for both.
Harvey Bullock doubles overlapping.
Yeah, see? He said the thing again! He said actually!
Ed storms off, humiliated. Clancy and Bullock laugh. Bullock straightens, wiping away a tear of amusement.
Good old actually. He makes it too easy.
Yeah, kid's too sensitive. If you ask me, parades around like he's the smartest guy in the room, and the sad part is he's probably right. But then he can't take a single joke.
He'll get there. He's getting about that age.
From your lips to God's ears, Harv. The kid's been moodier than ever lately. Sometimes he stays up for days in a row. Sometimes I find him falling asleep around the office, worried he might need a shrink.
He's a kid. Probably his hormones making him antsy. Once he finds himself a girl, he'll level out. Tale as old as time.
Barbara comes back, fist balled up, upset.
Hey, there she is. So, how'd you do? You crack Ashley's impenetrable security?
Ugh. He had it set to recognize my keystrokes. It brought up Windows making fun of me.
He probably likes you. I used to dip my ex-wife's ponytails into ink to tease her.
I can see why she's your ex.
Bullock roars, laughing. Barbara turns to Clancy.
Lieutenant O'Hara, it's Edward's birthday today, right?
That it is, little miss. Speaking of Ed, he's probably stewing in the car waiting for me. I better get going.
Will you send him a birthday message for me?
Of course. What do you want me to tell him?
Tell him thanks for letting me borrow his handkerchief. I left it in his desk drawer after I wiped down his entire workspace with it.
Barbara skips off. Clancy is left stunned.
Sheesh. She's Jim's daughter, all right. With liberty and justice for all.
Exterior, O'Hara household, driveway. Clancy pulls up in his beat-up old classic car with Ed in his passenger seat. Clancy parks the car and hops out. Ed the same.
Really don't have to go to this trouble, old man. It's hardly even an achievement. Really, it's more of a mandatory milestone for anyone who isn't a complete dullard. Just drop me off at my place.
You'll get to know disagreements from me, kid. But the missus is another story. Speaking of which, don't forget the outfit. She'll want to take pictures.
As Clancy struggles with finding his keys to unlock the door, Ed groans and goes back to get something out of the car.
Honestly, Clancy, you must do something about her.
Hey, watch it. I don't care how smart you are. You run your mouth off about my wife, I'll crack open that egghead of yours.
You'd have to explain that to Gordon then, as this egghead and its precious contents are now under contract with the GCPD. Besides, I meant no disrespect. Gertrude is a lovely woman. She's just so.
Clancy gets the door unlocked.
So what?
Ed sighs and pulls his graduation cap and gown out of the car, shutting the door.
I don't know how to describe it.
You? At a loss for words? Never thought I'd see the day.
Clancy holds the door open for Ed, and as Ed walks through it, indignantly. Interior O'Hara household, landing. Ed and Clancy walk inside, shutting the door behind them.
Gertie, we're home.
I can't hear you. I'm in the kitchen.
Ed and Clancy start walking towards the kitchen. Ed stops Clancy for a moment.
It's just. How do I put this? I don't know what to make of your wife. If I upset you, you wave me off and call me names. If anything, it's a poor reflection on you. If I upset Gertrude, she just looks so sad for me. Makes me feel like I want to die.
Clancy chuckles and claps Ed on the arm.
That's woman, ain't it? Take it from me, kid. If you don't know what else to do with a quality lay, just say yes and thank you.
Clancy walks into the kitchen while Ed stands there, contemplating.
What's all this, Gertie? You cooking for me or the Kennedys? You outdone yourself.
Don't you dare touch those brown butter blondies. Those are for Edward. Is he home?
Ed perks up and turns to go into the kitchen.
I'm here, Gertrude.
Interior O'Hara household, kitchen. Ed walks in. Gertrude turns to see him and rushes over to embrace him. Ed stiffens, unsure what to do. He spies a cake on the table covered in 16 candles with Happy Birthday written on it in frosting.
There's the birthday boy. I'm so proud.
Gertrude pulls back and looks at Ed.
My goodness, still sprouting up like a stalk of bamboo. All it took was a few home-cooked meals and you shot off, didn't you?
Ed blushes, shifting his weight. He has no idea what to do with himself and looks away.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Clancy turns to them, biting into a square of brown butter blondie he pilfered while they were distracted.
Hey, lay off the kid, will you? He's soft enough as it is. You don't need you coddling him like that. It's embarrassing.
Gertrude turns back to Clancy, hands on her hips.
Clancy O'Hara. This boy went from dropout to early graduation. He deserves to be celebrated, and I won't have your emotional constipation ruining that.
Oh, I get that, Gertie. I ain't saying different. Just that all this, parties and cakes and candles, it's all kid stuff. He's a man now. All he needs is a stiff drink and a handshake.
He most certainly does not. Edward, come sit down and you can blow out your candles.
Ed looks between Gertie and Clancy and doesn't know what to do.
I should probably get home.
But it's your birthday. You shouldn't spend it alone.
That's the best part. With my father in hospice, I finally have the place to myself.
Are you sure? Is there any food over there? I should have bought you some groceries.
Clancy comes over and puts an arm around Gertrude.
It's okay. Ed's just busting your chops. All right, Ed, if you need some time to yourself, why don't you go use the spare room Gertie made up for you, all right?
Uh-oh, guys. I think Ed went home.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Come back, there's still cake.
No, I just said the attic. Isn't that just
Oh,
the line?
I didn't hear you.
No
Yeah,
one
no,
heard
it's the
you.
same thing as
sorry.
before. Where like I
Okay.
think the beginning of your lines might not come through in your mic for some reason on Discord, like there's a noise gate or something.
Oh, for goodness sake, sorry. The attic?
Yeah, she made it up real nice. What, you don't like it or something?
No, no, it's fine. I've had no complaints sleeping there.
All right, then you go there and cool off, will you?
Ed realizes what Clancy is saying and nods.
Yeah, I should get some work done before dinner anyway.
You will let me know if you need anything, won't you, Edward?
I.
Ed is about to protest, but then trails off and thinks better of it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ed turns and goes. Behind him, he hears Gertrude speak to Clancy.
I can never tell what he's thinking. He's such a strange boy.
Interior, O'Hara household, attic. Ed sits on the floor, his back resting against the bed instead of sitting in it like a weirdo. He works on a laptop, coding away. He finishes something and sets the code to compile, then leans back and sighs as it does so. He looks around the room, at the desk, the bed with the fluffy pillows, the wall art with homey messages on it. His cap and gown hang in the closet. A mirror hangs upon the wall. The place is so nice. A knock at the door shakes Ed out of his reverie.
Edward?
Come in.
Gertrude comes in with a plate full of food. She walks over and puts the plate on Ed's desk, then goes over to sit near him.
I hope I didn't disturb you.
It's fine. Just waiting for some code to compile.
What are you sitting on the floor for? Something wrong with the desk?
Not at all. It's a matter of habit. I never had a desk in my room growing up. I got used to sitting like this. Makes it easier to focus.
I see. Well, I brought you a little bit of everything. If you'd like any dessert, there's brown butter blondies and ice cream downstairs. Get some for yourself before Clancy eats them all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Gertrude nods and stands.
You're not upset with me, are you?
Ed looks at her in genuine surprise.
Certainly not. Whatever gave you that idea? You've been incredibly generous with me, Gertrude. I simply don't require this much.
Ed trails off, looking for that word he can't find.
Affection?
Ed winces a bit.
Not the word I would have chosen.
Not to pry into your business, but it's just you've told us so much about your father. I know Clancy had a run-in with him the first time he picked you up. He sounds dreadful. God bless him.
Oh, don't do that. You're too good, Gertrude. With your blessings, the miserable bastard will never die.
Edward, where is your mother?
That wipes the grin off Ed's face, and he looks away darkly.
I haven't the faintest idea.
Were the two of you close?
Ed shuts his eyes, clenching his fist as a wave of rage and pain washes over him. But he manages to dismiss it and calms down, turning back to Gertrude with a breezy, easy smile.
My mother hated me. Not as much as my father, but not for lack of trying.
Gertrude's expression fills with sympathy.
Oh, don't do that.
Do what?
Pity me. I don't need it. She left a long time ago. I scarcely remember her.
Do you miss her?
Course not.
It wouldn't hurt you so much if you didn't.
Ed frowns.
You're making this difficult.
I'm concerned for you.
Ed shoves the laptop off his lap and stands, furious.
I realize. I'm not an idiot.
He catches himself yelling at her and instantly regrets it.
I didn't mean to. I just have a lot of work to do.
I'm sorry, Edward. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. I'll let you be.
Gertrude leaves. Ed groans and slams his hand on his own forehead.
What is wrong with me?
He collapses onto the bed, head in his hands. Ed looks up at his reflection in the mirror across from him.
Why are you like this, Eddie?
He wrings his wrists, then looks down at his hands. Interior, O'Hara household. Bathroom. Ed washes his hands in the sink obsessively. After he dries them, he then pulls out some antibacterial gel and squirts some on his hands. Once he's done, he takes a towel and wipes down the entire sink, then sanitizes his hands again. He sighs, leaning back against the wall, exhausted. Noise rises in his brain, growing louder and louder and louder. Ed starts wringing his wrists, his breathing quickening. He covers his head, sliding down on the floor, shaking. Through all the noise, specific voices poke out.
Just make sure you wipe down my workspace with antiseptic wipes afterward. They're in my top drawer.
There's an entire traffic and security cam database I could cross-reference. If I follow from where he was last spotted, I might be able to track his movements.
I'm sorry, Edward. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
Then suddenly, it all just stops. Silence. Ed exhales in relief and stands.
I need to wipe down my keyboard. It's probably covered.
As Ed goes to hang the towel he used, he pauses, thinking.
What are you looking for, Barbara Gordon?
Interior, O'Hara household, attic. Ed sits at the desk this time, typing away at the laptop. He enters some logins, performs some security checks, and starts scanning through their digital archives. He opens up a specific missing persons file. James Gordon Jr.
James Gordon Jr. Also goes by Jamie or JJ. Oh, same age as me. Mother shot, assailant unknown, probable suicide. Jamie found the body, disappeared shortly after, yada yada yada, last known location. Here we go. Spotted underneath Gotham Pioneer Bridge.
Ed goes through to another archive to find the traffic cam footage.
Let's see. There's a couple of cameras specifically under the bridge. Files from that date are automatically purged after 6 months. Typical. Probably to save on storage space. So why was it so urgent to see it now, Barbara?
Ed stops and thinks.
Maybe... Well, what did the footage look like today?
Ed clicks to play it. Static. Then the words, out of service appear on the screen.
Your tax dollars at work, Gotham. All right, let's see the other one then.
Ed clicks to play that file. The same exact thing happens.
Now that is peculiar. Both cameras are out?
Ed leans back in his chair, thinking.
Now, she said she could cross-reference. What was she planning to cross-reference?
Ed quiets, thinking a little more on it. He sets his computer to voice commands and stands up, pacing.
His last known location. The homeless camp under Pioneer Bridge. What about it? Known bums that frequent there? Arrests in the area? Dealers that have used this location? Were you hoping to see something in this footage? What did you want to...
Ed looks back at the computer, a thought occurring to him.
But you couldn't have. Neither of the cameras are in service. Computer, show service records for the Pioneer Bridge cams.
The computer pulls up the files. Ed goes over to look. He blinks, shaking his head in confusion.
Out of service for over a year? No feed at all? Then what's the point?
Ed's eyes widen as he has an absolute brain blast.
Computer, generate a list of every GCPD traffic and security camera that's been out of service in the last year and a half.
A loading bar moves across the screen as the computer works on this. Then it generates the list, showing a handful of locations. Ed sits down to take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4... 26 locations? That's way too many. All of them for over a year. All of them located in the Narrows. The bad part of town, the very place you'd need security cameras the most.
Something pops up on Ed's screen.
Hang on. One exception. Located not in the Narrows, but in the residential district. Uh-huh. Where is this address?
Ed highlights the address and inputs it into a Maps app, looking at where the camera is located. Ed puts his hands down, leaning back suddenly as it hits him.
Across the street from Captain Gordon's house. Service disruption started the day Grace Gordon died.
Ed slams his laptop shut abruptly.
The kid was right. Something is wrong here.
Ed looks at himself in the mirror.
What does it mean?
Interior, O'Hara household, kitchen. Gertrude is cleaning up the kitchen. There's so many dishes to be done. Ed comes into the doorway. He has a flash of memory watching his mother obsessively clean counters. He's just a little boy and he reaches out for her with scraped, bleeding hands, seeking comfort. His mother shoves a bottle of hydrogen peroxide in his hands roughly and moves away from him. She retreats to the sink and washes her hands again, as if he were disgusting. Ed then flashes back to the present. Gertrude gets to the cake in size, pulling out the candles and covering it.
Don't put it away just yet. Please.
Gertrude turns to look at him.
Edward?
I'm sorry. My mind was on other things. I shouldn't have snapped at you. I can't tell you what it means to me that you'd even care to put in all this work. I'm not acclimated to such things. I suppose it's a lack of habit, not knowing how to react. I'm not well rehearsed in social graces.
Gertrude smiles fondly.
Would you like a slice of cake and ice cream?
I confess I'm rather stuffed from the tremendous meal you prepared. Perhaps a brown butter blondie? If Clancy hasn't eaten them all.
Don't you worry, I hid one away for you.
She giggles and goes to the pantry, pulling out the hidden dessert bar and handing it to Ed. He takes it, tasting it.
Well?
It's divine. I don't know how else to describe it. Thank you, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Happy birthday to another successful year.
Ed smiles.
By any chance, is Clancy still around?
I think he's watching TV in the living room. Don't let him talk you into going to a bar.
Ed puts a hand on his chest and half bows.
Heavens, no! That's against the law. I work for the GCPD, ma'am.
Gertrude laughs and gets back to washing the dishes. Ed leaves the room, finishing his dessert. Interior, O'Hara household, living room. Ed goes out to the living room.
Hey, Clancy, I need to show you something.
Ed stops, finding Clancy sound asleep in his recliner. Ed sighs.
Typical loudmouth geezer. Talk a big game only to fall asleep when it counts.
Ed goes over to shake Clancy, but once he puts his hand on the older man's arm, he flashes back to memories of Clancy affectionately patting his armor back. These memories are intercut with brief flashes of Ed's biological father slapping him and knocking him to the ground as a small child. Little Ed falls to the ground, his hands becoming scraped and bloody. Ed flashes back to the present. Ed looks at Clancy, and then just pats his arm lightly instead.
Oh well, I suppose it can wait until tomorrow.
Ed turns and walks out of the room, pausing just to flick the lights off.
The part of Captain James Gordon will now be played by Joel Williams as originally cast.
Interior, GCPD, Captain Gordon's office. Morning. Ed stands behind Gordon smugly. Ed's laptop sitting on Gordon's desk in front of him. Gordon looks up at Ed skeptically.
You're joking.
Not even a little bit. Like you said, this is real, taxable, accountable work. I assure you I'm taking it very seriously.
You're telling me it's finished. Every employee of the GCPD has their own email account.
First initial and last name at GCPD gcpd.gov with appropriate permission assigned to every role. Each email is tied to every officer's individual login.
Gordon looks
Lo-
at Ed quizzically.
Sorry. Login? What are you talking about?
For the new system. Look, I completely redesigned the website.
Ed leans down over Gordon's shoulder to show him the website.
It's got everything. Information, calendar with dates, announcements, emergency numbers, even an anonymous tip line. I've already built the systems if we ever want to include a chat functionality for people who might not be able to call in for whatever reason. For the future.
You were supposed to make everyone emails.
I did. They're fully integrated with our website. Look, just click login over here, enter your email and password. Yours is jgordon@gcpd.gov.
I got it. I know that much. I'm not Clancy, for crying out loud.
Gordon logs in. It takes him to a blank page.
What's this? Did it crash?
Au contraire, that's an extra security measure. You have to sign into the terminal server as well, or the backend won't load. This prevents anyone from accessing confidential department servers from the front end.
I understand. Roughly half of that.
It's simple. Just click the launcher here and type in your login credentials there. Then the blank page will authenticate.
Gordon does so. The blank page loads Gordon's desktop.
So what's this?
Your personalized desktop. Here you can access your email, go through archives, and more.
You built this all last night?
I was motivated.
You sure you weren't building this months ago?
Planning and designing, yes. Implementation? Impossible. I didn't have access to everything I needed until you hired me. Not that I couldn't have given myself access, but it didn't seem worth going to federal prison over.
Huh. I'll be damned. Huh. Kid, you're really something, you know that?
I have been told I'm something of a mystery.
That's not quite the word for it. I can't put my finger on it, but you're something else.
So what do you think? We aren't live yet, but I can have this up and running by the end of the day if it all goes smoothly.
Yeah, do it. Great work. I mean that. I'm impressed.
Ed secretly fist pumps behind Gordon's back. He then shuts the laptop and tucks it under his arm.
I'll get started right away.
Ed rushes out. Gordon crosses his arms, leaning back.
Huh. Prodigies everywhere nowadays.
Interior GCPD bullpen. Ed hurries back to his cubicle. Clancy's waiting there for him.
So, what'd he say?
It's very Gordon about it. But the short answer is yes.
Hey, I knew it. Never had any doubt.
Ed reaches into his drawer and pulls out the antiseptic wipes, wiping down the desk and keyboard and anywhere else Clancy has touched.
Kid, relax. I ain't got the plague.
I didn't mean to offend. It's nothing against you, Clancy. I just don't want to risk catching the flu when I have so much to do.
Clancy nods and stands.
Yeah, about that. I've been meaning to talk to you about how you've been lately.
What do you mean? Is this about Gertrude? I did apologize.
No. She's a tough old bird, despite her tender heart. She's fine. I mean you. All this constant cleaning and freaking out. You stay up all night for weeks at a time. Then you'll sleep for almost as long. You never go out with kids your own age. I don't ever see you with any friends. I worry.
Barbara knocks on the cubicle wall, poking her head in.
Excuse me?
Clancy sighs, smiling softly.
Looks like your fan club is here. Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Wait, Clancy, don't leave me with...
Clancy walks out, tipping his hat to Barbara as he goes.
Good day, little old miss.
Good morning, Lieutenant O'Hara.
Barbara smirks at Ed.
Good morning, Nashton.
Good God, what do you want now?
God won't save you now. I want access to...
The traffic and security camera archives, yes, I know. Not to worry, I've already looked into it for you.
You have? Sorry.
Barbara blinks, surprised.
You have? Wait, is this a trick?
Why would it be a trick?
Because you're literally the worst person and have probably never done a nice deed in your life.
Oh, is that your assessment of me? Well, in that case, why change my modus operandi now? Get out!
Barbara stomps her foot.
That's not fair!
Life isn't fair, brat. Scram!
Oh yeah? Who's gonna make me?
Gordon appears in the doorway, scooping Barbara up suddenly.
Huh? Me?
Aw, Dad!
I hear a suspect matching your description has been making trouble around here the last couple of days. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this alleged disorderly conduct, would you?
No.
Uh-huh. I'm done with what I needed to do for now. Want to go get lunch?
Really?
Really? I need to spend some time with my best gal. What do you want to get?
Pizza!
That's my girl. Go get your things.
Gordon puts her down and Barbara runs off. Gordon looks at Ed.
I'd thank you, but you're the one who put that nuisance on this earth to begin with.
Kid, can I give you a word of advice?
I suspect it'll be far more than one word, but seeing as I'm officially employed by you now, I have no choice but to listen.
Right. Listen. You can't win them all. I may not know your full story, but I can tell you someone who's had a rough start. Much rougher than is fair or should be expected from anyone, let alone someone as young as you. But you've also been given the tools to overcome those hardships. You're sharp as a tack. Hell, you're the sharpest tack in the whole freaking police force. Bet you gotta learn to pick your battles. If you try to fight every single slight or injustice, all you're gonna end up doing is wearing yourself out. As hard as it is, sometimes you gotta prize peace and security over justice.
That's quite the mixed message coming from the police captain.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should let injustice lie. It's our obligation, not only as police officers, but as decent human beings, to stand up for what's right.
The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
Exactly. Just like that. All I'm saying is you got to be a long-term strategist, not a short-term fuse. You're wearing yourself thin, Nashton. I just don't want you to burn out.
Ed clenches his jaw, annoyed.
Thank you for that unsolicited life advice. I'll log that away.
Take it or leave it, son. That's up to you.
Barbara runs back in with her backpack.
Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye to Mr. Nashton.
Barbara groans.
Bye, actually.
Gordon chuckles and leads Barbara away.
Take care of yourself, Nashton.
Gordon leaves with Barbara. Ed turns to his computer and logs in.
They stare at me as if I'm an oddity. Even as they admire my brilliance. Even as they rely on my work. It used to bother me. But recently, I've begun to evolve in my perspective. There is chaos sprouting in my mind. An ever-increasing cacophony. Details, data points, statistical noise blending into actual racket. Gordon may be right. I cannot fight every battle. But perhaps I don't need to fight this raging din growing in my skull. Perhaps it isn't meant to be understood, but embraced for what it is. They say if you stare into the abyss, eventually it stares back. But what if I am the abyss? The living, breathing conundrum that solves the unsolvable, unknowable, indecipherable, inscrutable. I am an enigma.
we pan over to his computer screen and see his login. Enigma machine.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Wow. Congratulations. Wow.
That was good.
Congrats.
Mwah. Masterpiece. Poor Ed. I feel bad. He's
Chef's kiss.
sure
Oh, but he has a cute little redhead following him around. Like, who doesn't want a cute little child annoying them?
he doesn't. He's a germaphobe.
Speaking as someone who's worked as a counselor at a daycare center, not everyone.
Speaking as someone who doesn't like children.
Yeah, I used to be a camp counselor. Never again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel bad that the entire GCPD are all baby boomers who like don't understand mental illness. So they're all like,
Yeah.
he's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, pick him up with the bootstraps.
like-
Be okay.
I mean,
This
to
is
be
like
fair, that's why the psychopath trope is so popular, because people back then didn't understand mental illness, and it was seen as an other. So
Oh
it was
yeah,
always
yeah. You may not understand mental. Yeah, you guys may not understand mental illness, but someone decided to give him a pep talk instead of giving it to the one you should have talked to.
All
Dad.
I'm hearing from you is that you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Shut the fuck up, I'm angsty.
All I'm hearing is that you shouldn't have run away.
I am emo.
Do you need me? Do you need to hear me say it too? All right, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, son.
Jamie, I know you're upset about your mother's death, but have you ever thought about getting a girlfriend? We've decided the same solution will work for Ed as well.
Here, I have
The
something to
only
cheer you up.
solution to
Here's
any
some
problem
fake
with a young man
news.
is hormones.
They're just gonna put Eddie and Jamie in the same cell and be like, get a girlfriend, you two.
I just.
My mother died in my arms, and I watched as her murderers ran away.
Oh my god,
I'm
Daddy,
not
you're
gonna solve this.
Ed is like,
you're so
Kim.
embarrassing.
Ed is like, we all have problems with our mom, okay? Whatever.
You put gags around both Ed and Jamie, and they're not allowed to take them off until they get a girlfriend.
Should we take a break before the next episode?
Everyone
should. We're
is
waiting on
totally
Stu.
fine, like
All right,
shipping
cool.
him with this 12-year-old. Like that's not
That's
gross
Harvey.
at all.
Yeah.
This is Harvey Bullock.
I read that. I was like, oh,
You
Oh,
kinda gotta remember
Harvey,
it's
Harvey,
mostly
don't
Harvey
do
Bullock.
this.
Well, he's
Harvey
16 right now, isn't he? He's 16 right now, isn't he?
12-year-olds
That's a
and
big
16-year-olds
difference.
should not be a thing.
They're not a thing. That's why Ed's like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
wrong? She's a kid. Harvey
Yeah, that's
Bullock.
fair.
Yeah,
I'm saying in the
Bullock
adult
They're
time.
gross,
I'm,
they're gross old
Yeah.
men.
I'm saying in the eyes of like the 30 to 50-year-olds, they just see them as two kids.
Maybe
Yeah.
if you guys stop being gross, you could actually solve crimes, fucking cops.
All right,
Well,
guys.
you
Like,
guys
never.
also gotta remember that there's
It does
that,
bring
that
up
at
a
least
valid point.
it is at least a little bit just them being adults ribbing the obviously uncomfortable 16-year-old
Mhm.
ingenue.
That's true. They are being toxic masculinity.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Just
they
want
are-
to
they are
take
being
over.
masculinity and baby boomer toxic masculinity.
I just want to take over
of
for
the not
just
very
a moment.
What would make him
Get a girlfriend. It'll cure your OCD.
All right,
That'll
guys.
cure your signs of OCD and
guys, hold on.
Just wanted to go through and wrap up the actual stream itself so we can get our little break in, talk about casting stuff, and do all our behind the scenes things, getting ready while we wait for all the other voice actors to be available. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll start up stream for the next episode.
All right.
Hello.